Right now, you are doing two things at once. You're watching this video, and somewhere in your brain, a part of you is already thinking about picking up your phone. You know this feeling. You open Instagram, you've seen everything, you close it. 30 seconds later, you open it again. Nothing has changed. You scroll anyway. Most people call this a willpower problem. They're wrong. What's happening inside your brain when you scroll has nothing to do with discipline. It's older than language, older than fire. It's a survival system that took 3 million years to build. And someone figured out how to weaponize it. In the 1950s, a neuroscientist named James Olds accidentally discovered something that changed everything we thought we knew about the human brain. He was studying rats. He implanted a tiny electrode into a rat's brain and let the rat press a lever to stimulate it. The rat pressed a lever, then pressed it again, then wouldn't stop. The rat pressed the lever 7,000 times in 1 hour. It ignored food, it ignored water. It pressed the lever until it collapsed from exhaustion. Old had accidentally placed the electrode in a region now called the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, the reward circuit. And for decades, scientists assumed they understood what this meant. Dopamine was the pleasure chemical. The rat felt good, so it kept pressing. But in 1998, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz ran an experiment that flipped this entirely. He was measuring dopamine levels in monkeys. When a monkey received an unexpected reward, a drop of juice, its dopamine spiked. Expected. But then Schultz tried something different. He started playing a tone before giving the juice. The monkey learned that tone meant reward was coming, and something strange happened. The dopamine spike stopped firing when the juice arrived. It started firing the moment the monkey heard the tone. The dopamine wasn't responding to the reward. It was responding to the possibility of reward. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. Dopamine is the seeking chemical. Your brain doesn't release dopamine when you get what you want. It releases dopamine when you think you might get what you want. The difference is everything. Now go back 300,000 years. Your ancestor is standing at the edge of a forest. They don't know what's in there. Could be food, could be predators, could be nothing. That uncertainty fires their dopamine system. It pulls them forward. This is what neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp spent his career studying. He called it the seeking system. Not the reward system, the seeking system. It's the circuit that makes you get up and look, that makes you investigate a sound in the dark, that makes you check what's on the other side of the hill. In a world where food could be anywhere and death could be anywhere, the animal that kept seeking survived. The animal that felt satisfied and stayed put got eaten. Your brain was built by thousands of generations of relentless seekers. Sitting still felt like dying. Moving felt like surviving. This is still you. Every time you open your phone, that same circuit fires. Your brain cannot tell the difference between scanning the forest floor for berries and scanning Instagram for something new. To your dopamine system, scrolling is foraging. And here's what's critical about foraging. It never has a natural stopping point. A hunter-gatherer didn't stop looking for food because they found some. They stopped when it got dark, when they were physically exhausted, when an external force stopped them. Nothing from the inside said stop. The seeking system doesn't turn off. That is not a bug. That was the feature. For 3 million years, it kept your ancestors alive. In 1961, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner discovered something about rewards that nobody expected. He was training pigeons to press a lever for food. When the lever always gave food, the pigeons pressed it steadily and stopped when full. But when Skinner made the lever unpredictable, sometimes food, sometimes nothing, no pattern, something different happened. The pigeons became obsessed. They pressed the lever faster, more desperately. They couldn't stop. Skinner called this a variable reward schedule, and it produces the most compulsive behavior of any reward structure ever studied. Not predictable rewards, not no rewards, unpredictable rewards. A slot machine doesn't pay every time. It pays sometimes, randomly, no pattern. That randomness is not an accident. It is the entire product. Now, look at your phone. Sometimes you open Instagram and there are 5 new posts from people you love. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes one post gets you 15 minutes of related content. Sometimes you scroll for 10 minutes and feel nothing. No pattern, no predictable reward, just the possibility, just a tone before the juice. Your brain is pressing the lever 7,000 times an hour if you let it. Here is where it gets darker, because everything I've just described, the dopamine seeking circuit, the variable reward schedule, the foraging behavior, all of this was known by the people who built the apps you can't put down. In 2017, Sean Parker, the founding president of Facebook, sat down for an interview and said this out loud. He said the thought process when building Facebook was, how do we consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible? He said they deliberately exploited a vulnerability in human psychology. His words, a vulnerability. In 1998, a designer named Aza Raskin invented Infinite Scroll, the feature that means your feed never ends. There is no bottom of the page, nothing to interrupt the foraging. He later calculated that Infinite Scroll wastes roughly 200,000 human hours every single day. He said he was sorry. The notification system was designed by a team that studied behavioral psychology specifically to maximize the number of times per day your seeking circuit fires. The average person now checks their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. Every single one of those 96 moments is your 3 million-year-old foraging brain responding to a signal that was engineered to trigger it. This is not a coincidence. This was the product. And here is what that does to you. When the seeking system fires constantly, it changes. Dopamine researcher Anna Lembke at Stanford has spent years studying what she calls the dopamine nation, a world where instant access to engineered rewards has reset the baseline of the human brain. Her research shows that chronic overstimulation of the dopamine system doesn't make you feel more pleasure, it makes you feel less. Your brain adapts, it downregulates, it produces less dopamine in response to normal rewards because the baseline keeps getting pushed up by the phone. This is why the fifth scroll feels less satisfying than the first. This is why ordinary life starts to feel gray and flat when you're not looking at a screen. This is why putting the phone down for even an hour can feel like genuine discomfort. That discomfort is withdrawal from your own brain chemistry. And the apps are designed to create exactly this cycle. Stimulate, downregulate, return for more stimulation. The same pattern as every other addictive substance known to medicine, except this one is legal, built by some of the smartest engineers on Earth, specifically targeted at children. And it fits in your pocket. So what do you do with this? First, understand that nothing about this is your fault. Your willpower was never the problem. You were handed a slot machine built by neuroscientists and told it was a communication tool. The outcome was engineered. Your ancient brain encountered something your ancient brain was never designed to resist. Second, understand what your seeking system actually needs. 300,000 years ago, your ancestors' dopamine circuit fired when they heard an unfamiliar sound in the forest, when they discovered a new food source, when they learned something that changed their understanding of the world. It was designed for genuine novelty, real discovery, things that took effort and returned meaning. The seeking system doesn't just want stimulation, it wants to find something worth finding. This video, a new skill, a long walk somewhere unfamiliar, a book that changes how you think, a conversation that surprises you. Every one of those fires the same circuit, without the withdrawal. You will pick up your phone today, probably within the next 20 minutes. And when you do, the 3 million-year-old forager in you will lean forward, scanning the horizon, looking for something worth knowing. You can't turn that off. You were never supposed to. But somewhere between the savannah and the smartphone, someone took that ancient hunger and turned it into a product. Your ancestors saw it because their life depended on it. You scroll because someone built a machine that learned to feel exactly the same. The seeking never stopped. It just ran out of forest.